Alright, we're going to do a CS5, Adobe CS5 Flash project called Rotating Picture. And let's go ahead and get our stage set up. We're going to right click on the stage, document properties, and let's set this to 297 by 377, which happens to be the size of the picture I'm going to insert. Let's also change the background color to anything but white. Let's put in a pastel blue or a light color blue here, and we're going to speed up the frame rate from 24 to 38 and get this started out like so. Then let's insert a picture of yourself, preferably a profile picture, and we're going to import it to stage. And any picture you will do, I'll insert an old volleyball picture here, and use your mouse to put it in place, and you can use your arrow keys to tweak it right into position there. Okay, and then you want to turn this into a movie by pressing F8, and you can name it anything. Just turn it to a movie symbol, and at this point we're going to press F6, which inserts a keyframe. So F6 on 40, F6 on 60, and F6 on 100. Then we're going to click on keyframe 60 where the keyframe is here, and then modify, transform, free transform, which it was already selected, but it may not be on yours. So again, modify, transform, and we're going to reverse the entire picture here on frame 60. Also, we're going to click on frame 1, and we're going to click on the picture and go to our properties once again. Let's turn those on. If you go to Windows, Properties, notice that color effect comes up, and you'll drop that down, go to Advanced, and we're going to switch the alpha property to 0 at this point. You'll notice that the screen turns to the background color here, which is exactly what we want. And notice once we hit the keyframe 40, it comes in. So we go from not having the picture to having it. So if we do a tween here, then it calculates all the frames in between. But let's use a classic tween, and notice that it does a nice fade in there. And then we'll do another classic tween here, and it calculates everything. Remember, we reversed it here, and it's regular here, reversed here, so that as we progress down the timeline, it flips it all the way over. Then we're going to jump down to the 100 keyframe, and right after that we're going to put 6 more keyframes by hitting F6 6 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to hit the delete key for every other one. So that's 101, 103, and 105. It kind of gives us some machine gun effect. See, if I click on the red part of the playhead up here, kind of gives us that machine gun look. And so one last little touch, we're going to put a keyframe on 140 by once again pressing F6 here, and we're going to fade this out. After the machine gun effect here, we're going to fade it out one more time. Click on the picture, drop down to Advance, and let's click the alpha to 0 here once again, press enter, and we will tween this as well to give it some motion. Let's control enter, and that plays back the movie. We get the rotation, a little bit of machine gun there, and it's moving pretty quick. You can slow it down. If it's a little bit too fast, we're going to get back down to that first layer, document properties, and you can slow it down a little bit. Let's go say 30, and that should do it. I think it calls for a 38, but let's see if this looks a little bit better. Yep, and that'll do it. That concludes our rotating picture in Mr. Mac's Flash CS5 lesson of the day. Y'all have a good one. Alright, here we go. We're going to do a Flash project today using Adobe CS5. And this is the rotating picture part of the lesson. So we're going to start out with File, New, and ActionScript 3 will work. And we're going to import a picture onto the stage. So import to stage, and preferably a picture of you. You can take a picture of yourself or use one of the ones that you may have on file. And so let's just get a picture of you in here somewhere, and we can see that the picture's 297 by 377. So let's change the document to fit that. Again, we have a 297, kind of an odd size there, by 377. Everything to fit there. And let's change the background too while we're at it, so it when the background comes in, we'll give it that effect. So notice that the canvas fits at this point. You want to change that into a movie by pressing F8. And it doesn't matter what you call that, just turn it into a movie clip. And then at this point you're going to put a keyframe in by pressing F6. Press F6 on the 40, on the 60, and F6 one more time on the 100. And then let's click on the keyframe on 60, and then click on your modify transform free transform tool. Notice it's already highlighted in this case, and we're going to reverse the entire thing, again making sure that we're sitting on the keyframe 60. Okay, next step, we're going to go back to the first keyframe, and if you click on the picture, you'll notice that you'll have various color effect, display, filters come up. And let's go color effect, style, we're going to go advanced. And when you click on the advanced, the alpha, we're going to set that to 0. And notice that knocks the picture out, but if we're on 40 it comes back, so that if we transition that with the classic tween, it's going to do a fade in. Notice that it's totally faded out and it comes into the picture there. And we're also going to put a motion tween in here, a classic in this case once again, and you can see the where it gets to turn here. Okay, and at this point let's put in 6 more keyframes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to delete every other one. Delete that one, that one, and that one. It kind of gives a machine gun effect. If you run your playhead over that, you can see that kind of machine gun there. And then let's go to 140. One more keyframe here as well. Hit F6. And we're going to put another alpha transparency on that from the advanced screen. See the alpha here? We're going to zero this out as well on that last keyframe that we put on 140. And let's see what we have so far. Hit Control Enter. Get a fade in, machine gun effect, and we get a fade out. Let's put a motion tween on this last segment here. See if that smooths it out a little bit. Put a classic tween there, and then Control Enter. We'll play it back one more time. A little bit smoother, I think. Okay, one last touch. Let's change the click on the background here and speed it up just a little. Let's bring this up to a 38 and speed up the whole motion of that, and that should conclude this project. That's all there is to it. Gonna fade in, picture rotates, fade out, fade back in. Well, that'll wrap it up. Thanks for coming in and joining us with the Flash lesson with the rotating picture, and that will conclude our Flash project for today.